Hello, hello, hello. Welcome all to Seek Truth, Speak Truth. I hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are on our lovely rotating oblate spheroid. Good day to you. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe. My light has just turned off. I'll be back in a second. What is happening? We're having a disco. Party time. I usually try and have a light in front of me, kind of facing me, but that's just really playing up. So that's just stopped completely. So that's broken. Another thing. So thank you very much. Hello, everyone in the chat there. Fred Bailey, Ricky Bell, The Plot Hole, 9 O'Clock Hero, Golden Skeptic. Hello to you all. Chris. Hello, Vietnam. I hope you're okay, mate. Good to see you all. Anybody, The Plot Hole, anybody at all, there is a link at the top. So if you do have a spare few moments, feel free to come and jump on in. Sebastian Bast, hello, mate. I hope you are well. Sorry for that bit of light show at the start there. Vinyl, hello, buddy. Flow Rider, good to see you, mate. STST, yes, we live, babies. Oh, the plot holes at work, not a problem, mate. Not a problem at all. So how are we all doing, guys? Gary Wybing is in the chat. Ships or buildings don't disappear bottom first because of obstruction. They become unresolvable bottom first because of angular compression and Rayleigh criterion effects. No. I'm afraid not, Gary. The only reason things disappear bottom up is curvature. That is the only possible reason, I'm afraid. Things would just, angular resolution and things just get smaller and smaller. Not at any point on a flat plane would something disappear away and start to actually disappear bottom up. The only way, curvature. Oh, where's the bottom going? Over the curve. It's as simple as that. Should play your second to last video. I'll watch it. I will watch it after the stream, buddy. Pull a little guest in. We've got Bullet Bill there, so I'm just Right. I should be back. Disastrous. I'm so sorry, guys. A little bit unprepared. I've had a bit of a rough day, to be honest, and I wasn't going to go live tonight. And then I was just like, rather than just sit here and stew and feel sad and sorry for yourself, go online. So that's what I've done. So sorry, and thanks everyone for sticking around there. 24 people. Gary Wybenger, it would not be torture for me because it would not prove that you're right and I'm wrong at all. Nobody has ever proven that things disappear bottom up due to anything other than curvature. There's just no proof of that. I was about to say, before my phone cut out, that I do have a guest with me, Bullet Bill, so I'm not sure how far it kind of went until it cut out, but I'm now about to bring him into the room. Hello, mate.
Hello. Wow.
That was a bit.
It's a bit of a mare, wasn't it?
Bit of How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Good.
We've
had some interesting chats, haven't we, recently with you popping on?
Yeah, I mean, I like talking, so I like when I can join and sort of chat to people. So
gotta be done.
Nice.
Gotta be done. Oh, Gary's been timed out there. Gary. There was someone else I wanted to say hello to. JSS Tiger, hello, mate. Hope you are well. So what have you been up to, buddy? Obviously, probably not quite a lot at the minute, but
I've got a thing to do for a job, a potential job. So for programming jobs, what they'll do before or after they interview you is that they'll give you what we call a tech test, which is just to make sure you know what you're what you're doing or you're good enough. So it will be make a website that does this or whatever, and so I'm doing something to do with that, which is quite good. It's actually quite good to do that, because do you know what I mean? Rather than just truck your CV out there and hope for the best, it's like at least you get to do something, and so I've been working on that.
That's a good thing in it as well. Like just kind of learning as you're going as well. It can only help, can't it?
Yeah, well, the good thing as well is that because I've done a few of these, and even if I don't get the job, I've learned some stuff from it, so it's going to make me stronger. So inspirational talk, but yeah, it is going to be. It's easy to lose morale when you're job hunting.
Yeah, when a going back to basics, when a child even learns to tie their shoelaces, it's learning, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like we can never ever stop learning. I don't think. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'd have stopped, I'd still be a flat earther. So you gotta be open.
Learning's quite fun, and I don't know why. Like, because the stuff I'm doing at the moment is to do with data, and if you ask me now, why do you find data interesting? Because it just looks like the most boring thing in the world, but I don't know why. But it's just, I don't know. One of these things that you just kind of get into, or it just piques your interest. Programming language, Neil. I've only really know JavaScript, some Python, and SQL. I'm pretty new. I'm looking for my first role, so. Not an expert by any means, but yeah, I've got.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, it is, I suppose, like a whole other language. So again, you hear someone speaking in Spanish or something, and you ain't got a clue what they're talking about.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. But other people understand it.
It's probably one of those things people might not agree with me, but it probably looks a lot harder than it actually is. So if I showed you some code right now, you'd probably be like, "Oh my god, what is this?" This guy's Einstein, but it's not. It's not. It's one of those things. It's once you learn how it works,
Yeah, once
I
you got
was,
over that sort of basic step, I suppose.
Gary with the Rayleigh criteria. I don't know. It's definitely his latest obsession, isn't it? Do you think Oakley's been?
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't even,
It's
to be honest, I don't even know what it is.
so
The pothole,
Cats did
sorry,
this.
mate. Yeah, go ahead and chill yourself out.
So the Rayleigh criteria is basically when something's so far away that you can't resolve it. You can't tell if it's two things or if it's actually one thing. It kind of just blurs into one. The
Ah,
problem with that
okay.
is though, if if something's
Mm.
that far away that you cannot like distinguish it accurately, then you're not going to be able to see the top half either. If
Yeah,
you could still see the top half, no matter how blurry it is, then your point
yeah,
is completely moot. Clearly, it's not far enough away.
yeah.
It's
I
so
mean,
obvious. Like if you could see the top half in any capacity, then that doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any. It's like, oh, it's
yeah,
compression. It's not. Well, why is the rest of it not compressed? It just makes
yeah,
absolutely no sense.
yeah.
It's
It is
just
very
it's
clutching at straws, isn't it? Literally. I just noticed try thinking actually in the chat. Um, I know you're capable of fairly decent conversation, so feel free to jump on if you did want to, buddy. Um, I know there's no kind of horrible maliceness there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think you're an okay guy, so feel free. B-Ball for Life, hello, mate. Everyone, go and check out B-Ball for Life's channel. Um, he's such a great guy. He's such a great guy, and also a great rapper. A lot of you may not even know that. Like, you think there's only Jon Snow, MC Toon, and maybe me as rappers, but this guy, B-Ball, is like a rapper. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he's actually still got much on his channel, but check that guy out. Tusk as well. Hello, buddy. Good to see you.
he had
9 o'clock hero.
he had a bit of a back and forth with Gleam a little
Yeah.
while ago. That was very entertaining.
Mm.
Although I think it wasn't really it was that Gleam was quite upset with one of Beeble's videos, and it was
Yeah. Yeah, he gets himself old Gleam, do you know what I mean? Like a little bit above his station.
it's really annoying with Gleam because I don't know what to say about Gleam. Is on the one hand, he has learned some science. He does get stuff right. His physics is not bad.
Yeah.
You can have a conversation with him. He's relatively polite. You can talk to him. He
Mm.
doesn't seem like he seems like a reasonable person, but he does
Yeah.
have his point. He does have a wall, and when you get to that wall, then it's like any other flat
Mm.
earther, and it's not. And I just feel like if he properly did study physics, and go into science, I think he could, maybe he could find something, maybe he could find something in that. Maybe he can get a new
Mm.
career. Maybe he can.
Yeah.
I think there's real potential there, but it's just such a shame because I think he's only learned
Mm.
what he needs um to try
Yeah.
and come off as intellectual as possible. And I
Yeah.
think that's such a shame because you should never, ever, ever learn something to 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 sort of wear it as a badge of honor to say, "Oh, look at how
Yeah.
smart I am." You should never, ever
And
do
to
that.
think that that's the end. Do you know what I mean? Like to think that like, oh, I've now got here, so nothing can ever change. This is what I know, and then just
Yeah,
kind of spread it.
yeah. You get to a point.
Yeah.
Well, you can get to a point where you say, "I don't really know," but you shouldn't really get to a point where you're like, no, it's not that. This will not work. It's definitely,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
scientists, they don't really use the word definitely all that much, you know.
yeah. Even say the word, I mean, fact, and kind of facts change, don't they? They can change even. Um, Even did you ever watch QI, the program QI?
Yeah. Oh yeah, gotta love QI.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I remember Stephen Fry once, and even kind of years later, and they kind of corrected all the mistakes that they'd made during all the previous series. And there was so many, and they were saying, at the time the research told us this was what it
Yeah.
was, but now
Yeah.
we're correcting ourselves. And that's basically what science does, doesn't it? If you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
maybe the
It,
first or one of the first perceptions of the Earth is, oh, it's flat. But then obviously people learned and studied, and then the consensus comes, and people would have fought against it. And do you know what I mean? So it's constantly evolving.
yeah. Exactly. That's the thing. People always think, oh, science is science. It's like, well, it's that there are things that we are quite confident with, true,
Mm.
but like you say, it very much is that. I mean, one thing, and I'm not going to get technical here, but
Please do.
but atoms. So what we know about atoms, that's changed so much, and that is actually taught in
Yeah,
schools now, because
yeah.
it used to be. I think the ancient Greeks had the idea that I'm going to cut something down really, really small. But if I keep cutting down things really small, like if I cut it in half and I cut it in half again and I cut it in half, and you get smaller and smaller. I can't remember who it
Yeah.
was, but there was a Greek scientist or philosopher that came up with this idea that I bet there's a point you'll get to where you actually just can't cut it in half anymore. You can't get any smaller.
I get you.
And
Yeah.
he called
It's
it
like folding a
atomic.
piece of paper.
Exactly, yeah,
Do you know what
exactly.
I mean?
There'll be a
Yeah.
point where you can't do it anymore. And
Mm.
I think it was Dalton then who established this idea of, oh, there are these things called atoms that are very, very small.
Mm.
But we don't know a huge amount about them, other than things with matter are made of them. Then it came, I think it was Thompson, that because we understood that, oh, they're these things that are electrons now, and so there's a positive and negative charge there, but
Yeah.
scientists didn't know where are they. Is it in the middle? Is it around the outside? Is it all mixed up? So then they did experiments and they worked out, the electrons go around the outside, and
Oh,
the positive charge is in the middle, because what they
I
did
get you.
was they had a thin layer of gold leaf, and they fired very, very tiny particles at it. And if it was all solid, if atoms were like completely solid,
Yeah.
nothing will get through, would they? Some might deflect, but nothing will get through. But what they found was most of them went straight through. And if most of them
Oh.
went straight through, then it's like, well, most of an atom must be empty space, and that's
Oh,
true.
okay. Yeah.
And they found that some of them bounced off, so they thought, well,
Yeah.
they must be bouncing off something that's positively charged, because they're firing positive particles. And two
Uh,
positives repel each other, don't they? It's like two magnets, north and north.
yeah.
And so it's
Wow.
always changing. We're always adding based on what we pick up and things
Mm.
like that.
I have, yeah, I mean, I've heard that whole thing before of like how an atom is mostly empty space,
Yeah,
and um, I don't know whether it does correlate, but what about, say, obviously at the moment of the Big Bang, how the density or like the singularity was so small, or no, massive, but such a small object, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
So would all the matter that exists now been able to fit in that? Do you know what I mean? Like, is that where this empty space has come from?
You're asking a lot of my physics at the moment. So
No, this is more, sort of
yeah,
theoretical.
I think the idea is because there's something called antimatter in physics, and when antimatter and matter interact, they kind of neutralize, they cancel each other out. And so what physicists think at the moment and chat, please correct me if I'm wrong, which I could definitely well be here, but they think that most of the matter and antimatter cancelled each other out. So there wasn't very much left at all. But luckily for us, there was a little bit more matter than antimatter. So there was a little bit left over. And that matter is all the matter that exists right now. That is my understanding of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any physicists in the chat?
Mad. Yeah, I mean, obviously, anyone in the chat.
That was Neil deGrasse Tyson's book. I think I learned that from. Yeah,
Okay.
the Big Bang's very, very, very odd because in that sort of fraction of a second after the Big Bang, the laws of physics were very, very weird, and they're very unlike sort of anything we're used to because you didn't even have atoms. It took a while for atoms to even come about because it was too hot for atoms to exist. So it had to cool down to a point where atoms actually formed. Things like that. It's really the physics is really intense.
Yeah, that's why obviously it is the 13.8 billion years, isn't it? It's such a long time that literally atoms didn't even exist at one point, but we could never imagine a world without them, I suppose, could we?
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
Or very, very difficult to. That's messed up.
Yeah, but and evolution, which I fucking love evolution, as you know, but when Darwin first came out with it, there was a lot of skepticism, and to an extent, you could understand that. You could definitely understand if you put yourself in sort of 18th century England. You could definitely understand because we just didn't have the tools available. We didn't have that evidence. Even the fossil record, we didn't really have because there just weren't enough fossils, basically. DNA. I mean, what was DNA? No one knew what DNA was. But it was a really, a lot of biologists, I think, at the time thought, you know what, I think he might be onto something here. Looked at the work that he did, and it was only later on that people really he's this guy was on the money,
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And where was it? Was it the Galapagos Islands? Did he go?
So Darwin had done a lot of work, including his trip to the Galapagos to come up with his theory. But the Galapagos was a big part of it because he noticed the interesting thing with the Galapagos and a lot of islands is for a lot of species that live there, unless they can fly or unless they can migrate somehow, if they end up on an island, they can end up stuck,
Yeah.
And if they're stuck, they can't interbreed with their species anymore. Do you know what I mean? So they are their own little they're in their own little world, if you think about it that way. And he saw speciation because he saw there's different finches that live on the Galapagos, but they're each different in their own sort of way, but they're also very, very similar, which is very, very interesting. What basically happened is speciation. In other words, you have variation. So animals are born that are a little bit different to each other. Some of those differences are better at doing different things. So, for example, if you've got a larger beak, then that's better at eating nuts and things like that, nuts and seeds, because it could break through them. If you've got a thin beak, then you can access the nectar and things like that in flowers.
Yes.
So then as soon as that snowball starts rolling, they reproduce. They have a bigger and harder beak or a thinner beak, get even better at that, and it goes in that direction. So he figured it out, but Darwin had done a lot of work. I think one of the misconceptions I had is that I thought, oh, Galapagos, and he just a eureka moment, there you go, evolution. But he'd done so much work to kind of realize what was going on. Do you know what I mean? Because it's it's probably one of the greatest achievements in science. That
Alien X Gaming, hello. Sorry there, bud. Alien X Gaming, hello, mate. I heard you were thinking of going back to flat Earth. Any truth behind that? No, not a zilch. Where did you hear that from? I'd be quite interested to find out. But no, never. Well, I say never. There'd have to be a lot of proof shown my way.
Yeah.
But I'm basically as much empty space as there is in an atom. That's how sure I am that we live on a globe.
Very nice. Well,
Yeah.
I think what you've got now is you've built your intellectual self-defense up, probably, haven't you? So, you're not gonna be very easy to fool, I don't think, with these sorts of things.
I hope not.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, it's very easy to say that, but I think so. Because it's like I said. I mean, you don't have to like chuck out everything as soon as you hear it and be like, "Oh, that's bollocks." But it's just that take that second to be like, sure about that, because I've done that with things before. I've just is that really right? And then I'll look it up and think, oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is right. But it's that's all you need to do.
That's the thing. Just try and stay critical. I mean, when I kind of first left flat Earth, I was still of the mindset that say all the pictures of Earth were fake and NASA were fake. We never went to the moon, and it still took me a good few months to kind of accept that again, and like, oh, actually, we do go to space, and
it's not going to
SpaceX going up there, and
it's not just going to flip, like that. I mean, from my perspective, it's easy to think that you would, but the thing about you, the thing that interested me about you in particular, was that you've got that point of view, and I think probably my opinion of flat Earth has changed somewhat after sort of hearing your story, because it's it's very, very easy, isn't it? It's very easy, like, from my position, to say, oh, you idiots, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's a product of a lot of conditioning, and
that's it. I mean, because a lot of people, you look at someone from the outside and you can easily form a judgment of them or whatever. I mean, obviously, remember, say, Rayleigh, that I've done a few videos on, and I know people are very skeptical of her, saying like she's just doing it for attention, but like what she said to me is, if you notice, she literally hasn't even made a video since mine and Kat's video. She never ever commented on either of them, and she's basically, gone a bit undercover, really, and really trying to think about it, and not go to different people for ideas, and do you know what I mean? So for me, that shows, I mean, she could have really gone for that and started making videos straight away, going, no, Kat's is wrong. I'm going to tell you what. Do you know what I mean? So there really is something behind that, and that's why now I try not to say like, oh, this person's a fake or that person's a troll, or do you know what I mean? Like, try and give them that opportunity, because I think I was that person. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and people were wrong about me, so it's easy to form personal judgment.
It is. I have my doubts about you. You'll probably know this already, but I have my doubts about Rayleigh. And all I can say is I hope I'm wrong. I do.
Yeah.
I'd be very glad to be wrong on this occasion. I don't see. I don't see enough from her at the moment. But like you said, maybe, who knows? Maybe she's having second thoughts about it. And if she does, power to her, and I'll be the first to admit, I was wrong.
Well,
good on you. But fingers crossed. But
I'll say, I mean, I won't put words in her mouth, but she's very, very close to realizing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and she sent me a message today and was just like, this flat Earth is just dropping around me. Do you know what I mean? And so she's cottoning on.
If that is the case, then that's great, But I will. Forgive me for being skeptical, but I'll believe it when I see it. I'll
Yeah,
believe it when
no,
I see it, but hopefully,
I think we all need to be.
yeah,
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 you know, we can't just all. Well, you know, we all know ourselves. You cannot take someone's word for it online. You know, no matter what. Like say with Eric Dubay, and you know, like you only they
yeah,
know. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
literally only
Well,
they know.
that's why how one thing I don't like what the debunkers do is, and everyone's done it, and it's becoming really, 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 really common now. Is the whole
Mm,
Poe thing, which
yeah.
is like to any and every flat earther, you can just say, "Oh, they're not a real flat earther," and I think it's when we do stuff like that. I think we need to take a bit of our own medicine sometimes, and think, well, is there, what evidence do you have of that? And it's like, oh,
Mm,
he
that's it.
can't really be
Yeah.
serious. And it's like, well, how do you know? Genuinely, how do you?
Yeah.
Because I've seen, uh, because people do genuinely believe these things, and even I think it's gotten to the point. It gets to the point where what they're saying is so ridiculous that people watching become incredulous, that they can't believe that they
Mm,
believe it. And it's like that this cannot be real. Which
yeah.
is such a weird situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
People can't
Yeah.
believe that they're being genuine. But I think, to be
Yeah.
honest, I think almost all of them are. I don't think I've seen one, because people have said, oh, Nathan Oakley, maybe because he's doing it for the money. Maybe. But
Mm,
even with him, I don't know, because even if it is for the money, I just don't, I can't imagine. I mean, no, only he himself will know that. But you know what I
mm,
mean? A lot of people will say,
yeah.
"Oh, Poe," and it's, well, how do you know that?
Yeah. It's
If
almost
basically,
the easy option. It's easier to
yeah,
believe that someone's lying about it than they actually believe it.
yeah,
If you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah, and I think it's if someone is trolling, if someone is genuinely trying to get a rise out of people,
Mm,
how long are you going to keep this up for? Realistically, how much, how
yeah.
much is it worth your time? Because think about like Reckless Ben. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
By the way, it's brilliant.
Well, not
Yeah,
all of it, but I know what happened. Yeah.
yeah,
I know what happened. Yeah.
and that was a long, uh, like a long sort of scam. But
Yeah.
do you really think someone like him is going to keep it up for what, a month, a year? No, it's especially when
Yeah.
you've got people in comments, subscribing to people. Are you really going to take that much effort if you're just trolling?
That is a
Uh,
big
but
troll, isn't it?
yeah, but that's what I think anyway. Um,
It's that super flirt.
Something over the church. Yeah, I was gonna. Oh, are you there, Seek? Have we lost you? Might have lost Seek there. Let's just see if he'll be back. Okay, Seek's internet gone apparently. I'll just hold up the fort while he's gone. Oh, we have a flat earther in the chat. We've got a new flat earther in the chat. Super flat. What's he saying? Barry, you believe on your model, not me. So doing it. I was going to bring up something about forces actually, which you have a few. Yeah, there tends to be a few in Seek Truth's audience. Yeah, I was going to bring up something about forces. I'll probably wait till when Seek comes back, but that really irritates me. Some people go on about some flat earthers talk about forces, and this is very basic stuff, I feel, but a lot of them forget it. You don't need any. You don't need anything advanced either to debunk it. It's very, very basic. I wonder if I can share. I actually can share my screen here, but no, I'll wait. I'll wait for Speak Truth. It'll probably only be a second anyway. I'll just keep things going. It's not that they forget; they can't comprehend it. Indeed. What branch of science do you really struggle to understand? Well, my physics isn't that good. But it's actually okay since learning from debunkers and sort of improving my own knowledge. My physics is actually not that bad. Chemistry is an absolute pain. Chemistry is a nightmare. I did A-level chemistry one time, and it's not something I want to do again ever. Yeah.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Tell a friend.
Right.
No. Sorry, dude. Thank you so much for holding the fort there.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's not your day today for connection.
Really isn't, mate. No, I really have had an off day, and yeah. So I just came out. You know, I was just like, I've got to get online, but I've got a lot going on in my mind. I forgot to plug my phone. Oh, just it's too much. We do have a guest awaiting. I haven't even clicked on who it may well be, so we'll just have a look. Oh no, nobody. That's probably me.
We've got we've got in the chat, we've got Right the Hand. I cannot deal with these. Just yeah.
I've heard the name, but I don't really know who that is.
He's a very unpleasant flat earther, honestly. Yeah. He's yeah.
Flat
he was
versus
on,
ball.
Oh, he'll be making himself known.
Well, we've got a debate channel coming up, guys. So, feel free. Flat Earth versus globe Earth is my strong topic, I'd say. So, feel free to come along if you ever do want to. Colon, hello, mate. Good to see you. Practical. Barry on. Good to see you too. Mandelbrot set. Brian Mabbott. Hello, guys.
I was gonna do a bit of I was gonna share my screen actually, Seek.
Yeah, go for it.
You'd because the whole thing with why do helium balloons not fall? Are they defying gravity? Things like that. That kind of annoys me because it's so basic, and I feel like
yeah, we'll do. I'll show your screen in a second. Try thinking, saying you guys couldn't handle Right the Hand. I highly doubt that, but like I say, I'd be happy to have a scheduled debate.
He's so obnoxious. Yeah, you will not enjoy having
Is
him
he worse than Nathan
and
Thompson?
Anyone that has been in a call with Right the Hand will know what I'm talking about, except for Flat Earth.
I don't even know who it is, so that's probably why I'm being a bit optimistic.
You'll see. Yeah, you'll see what I mean. Obviously, make your own
Marcus
mind up. Yeah, Right the Hand.
Paige Turner, hello. Yes, mate. I'll share your screen if you
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a go. I'm using Paint, so please don't laugh. It's
the mighty one. Hello, buddy.
So can you see the balloons?
I I don't think you're showing your screen at the minute.
Am I not? Oh, I've got to click. Oh yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So if I do that,
Yeah. Right.
right. Okay. Quiz time, Seek. So this is a balloon, as you can see. What the hell is with that font? Forget that. God, it's 100. Anyway, yeah, that is a balloon. So, what are these two arrows representing?
Up and down.
Up and down, but they're forces in particular. So, what force are any of these?
Buoyancy and gravity.
Yeah. So the top one, you call it up thrust. You can call it buoyancy as well. And yeah, you're right. The down one is, of course, gravity. Now, this is not GCSE. This is Key Stage 3 stuff, which is in the UK you'd learn in years 7, 8, and 9. So this would be 11, 12-year-olds will learn this, basically. Now, if you look at the size of these arrows, do you see how they're the same size?
Yeah.
So, do you know what that would mean if these two arrows are the same size? What does that mean the balloon is going to do? Or what will it be doing?
Sorry, I just had a message pop in then. What, could you repeat that last thing again?
So, you see how these two arrows are the same size?
Yeah.
So, what would that mean for the balloon? What will the balloon be doing?
Oh, sort of at equilibrium?
Yeah, that's right. So, the two forces are the same. So, that means this balloon is going to be floating. It's not going to be rising up. It's not going to be going down. It's going to be floating. You see? Because the forces are the same. Now, if we have a bigger force going up, so the bigger force, I'm going to flip this in a second. Yeah, so if you have a bigger force going up than the one going down, then what's going to happen to the balloon?
It's going to rise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how easy this stuff is? I'm not being funny. So, yeah, so in the case of a helium balloon, for example, helium is very, very light, which means there's not much mass. And the lower your mass is, the weaker the force of gravity is going to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because gravity depends on the mass, you know? If you've got something bigger with more mass, it's going to be pulled down with a greater force. So this arrow is going to be tiny for a helium balloon compared to the force which is up thrust, which is going to be bigger. So it's going to accelerate upwards. So it's not hard to get. These things are not hard to understand, you know, because this up thrust force here, this is a thing. No matter what it is, it doesn't have to be a balloon. It could be a rock. It's still got that force of up thrust, but it's going to be nowhere near strong enough to have any effect on gravity. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's this.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to sort of
And it's putting it in basic terms as well, isn't it? If you know what I mean, just like you say, even a simple diagram.
You don't need to talk about. I didn't. I mean, how advanced was that? It is so simple.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a lot of the time. I mean, you know, I don't want to say most flat earthers are uneducated, but there's definitely a correlation there where, you know, because I was in that boat where I kind of, at certain points where the teacher was talking, I might have been talking to my mate next to me rather than listening. And, you know, if you do that a little bit too often, you miss these little things. Do you know what I mean? And like,
yeah.
And then you grow up as an adult and you kind of just forget how to debunk it instantly. Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, that still happens if you're paying attention. You know.
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah.
No, you do. Every single person would have had at least one point in a lesson where
Mm.
you're looking and you just think, no, I don't get that, or that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. But and
You can,
hopefully you get a grip of it, or you ask the teacher or whatever, and you do
yeah.
get some understanding. But sometimes you don't, and that's okay. You're not gonna you can't win them all. I
I
think
think that
what it
we
is
excel in other separate things, like just because you're not great at physics doesn't mean you're not better at this physicist than something else.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sorry, mate. I just got a super chat there. $5 from JSS Tiger. I will do a sun observation tomorrow from Ohio. I need one from the UK at the same time. Record direction of the sun, southeast, northwest. Let's say 4:30 UK. What's tomorrow? Saturday. Yes, mate. If you email speaktruthofficial@gmail.com, and then I'll certainly try my best to do a sun observation with you, mate. That'd be brilliant. Flow Rider, it's like growing potatoes. Most people forget how to do it. Yeah, I suppose. So the opposite of riding a bike, because you supposedly never forget to do that. But I'm the same. Any skill that you're not using at the time, and you're not using it in your mind 3 or 4 years, you kind of will slowly, I think, start to forget things, and your brain, I think, just kind of fills up with more what's relevant to you at the time.
What I'll say as well is I think that what flat earthers do quite well, regardless of whether we think people should fall for it or not, is they're very, very good. What they will do is they will find a weakness. They'll find a weakness that you have, and then they'll exploit it. That's how they get in.
Yeah.
So it'll be things like, oh, look at this horizon. That looks flat, doesn't it? Look flat. Look, I can pan across. And for a second, someone watching that will think, yeah, he's right. It does look flat, and
Yeah.
that second, that little bit of curiosity is I think that's sometimes all you need, because then people will think, oh, that's it. Let's find something else, and it can very, very, very easily, snowball from there. I think so.
Yeah.
It's
Try
that's
thinking there says, you guys are obsessed with flat earthers. I think a lot of people are. Obviously, I'm an ex-flat earther, and it does fascinate me. And now being the other side, it's almost like basically people that believe in unicorns in a forest. So a lot of people will find that fascinating to
yeah.
to know that there's no such thing as unicorns in the forest, and there's a movement of people that genuinely believe they are, and there's no proof of them. No one's ever seen them, but they're adamant of it, and that is fascinating.
Yeah, I flat Earth is interesting, not because it's not because it's got anything intelligent to say about the shape of our Earth, but the fact that wow, people really believe this. That that took me a while to get my head around. Is like people actually believe. Because I saw it. I saw, some celebrity believed it, and I was like, oh, that's a funny story. And you you look into it, and
That
you
was
think,
Bob or something, wasn't it?
it was
Bob.
Bob. I think was the first
Yeah.
one, and I think this. What is this? Is this a joke? Is this like a meme or something? What is this? And it's that it's that realization that wow, people really do believe it, and not only believe it, but passionately believe it. But yeah, it's fascinating because you learn how they try and they're trying to invent their own physics and things like that, and the whole discussion is actually quite interesting. I mean, I'd rather know it was a flat earth, because I think conspiracies are harmful and they waste everyone's time. But rightly or wrongly, I think it is interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I don't mind talking about flat earth. That's why Watch Seek Truth, Speak Truth.
Super Flurf there saying like that's how simple this is, water level. So you think you've worked out that there was a word play when this was invented, and they thought, we're going to say water level, but we're not going to tell them it's curved. We're not going to let them realise. So again, say sea level rather than sea curved, and aeroplane, and you can look for things and words in certain places.
Semantics is so dumb. Did you know there's been 666 comments in this chat so far?
Yeah.
But you get people that do this sort of thing. The wordplay.
And again, say like a water level, we use a water level tool. I'm sure one of the main proponents of that will be gravity, and the level that is being shown will be caused because of gravity. Like, do you believe in gravity? Like, do you know how that level works? But again, you need to be looking over 6 miles, 8 miles to even dare to think you're going to notice any difference.
We've got try thinking piping up. We've used the word level too many times. He's got someone say the word level.
But again, these are trick words. I don't know a lot about the word level or horizontal, vertical, perpendicular. I've heard the words, and it sounds good when you can say them. And if someone else doesn't know what it is, you can twist them up and say,
words come from things.
Flat, but the Earth is flat.
Words come from things. It doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't. I mean, it's so stupid. The whole the old classic. Did you know NASA is Hebrew for lie? And people were very quickly onto that and said it just isn't. It's like I don't know where they've got that from. And it's
that was a completely different spelling as well. I think that was like, I don't know, say Nasha or something like that.
I mean, my Hebrew's a bit rusty, but no, it's not. But even if it was, it wouldn't like. I mean, NASA came together and they're like, we've got this big secret, but I know, let's name ourselves the Hebrew for lie. That way, no one will figure out we're lying.
Yeah,
it's just okay.
And the other one, like say, was it von Braun or whatever on his gravestone? He's got that, phrase out of the Bible somewhere saying like touching something of the firmament, or and again it's like, worked for NASA. He's put a hidden clue on his gravestone. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's just like he was probably just a religious person. Do you know what I mean? And like
no. Flowride has got it. NASA is Hebrew for Photoshop. Yeah, I knew it.
CGI.
Yeah. Oh, CGI.
Oh,
I can't not think of Peaky Blinder now for
that. But again, I mean, that's why I always say to people like try thinking or anyone, they get so obsessed on one topic. So it will be like ships don't disappear bottom up, or obviously try thinking is level and horizontal, and wondering about definitions of words, but like step away from that. Like if you're genuinely wanting to know what the true shape of the planet is, there's lots of other ways. Don't just stick yourself in one area trying to prove that one specific thing over and over and over again when it's not right. So you need to go elsewhere and try again somewhere else, if you know what I mean, because
it's a bit sad though, because it's a bit sad though, because he will not ever stop thinking that the Earth is flat, and it's a bit, I mean, I hope,
hopefully not.
Hopefully not, yeah. But my gut tells me that sadly I don't think he will. I think he will keep on going because he's gotten so good at just nope. This is how it is. Right. That and no one's gonna. You've got people debunking him for months and months and months and showing him evidence. So And it's the same with so many flat earthers. That's the thing that
Yeah.
really kind of creeps me out about flat earth, is how, apart from a few people like you, for example, it kind of locks people in. You know, it's a trap.
Yeah.
And once you fall into it,
Closed-minded.
yeah, you just get stuck. You know, and I think that's really tragic. I think that's really.
And then
really bad.
people have the same. They have the same conversation over and over and over again with different people.
Yeah, over and over again, and that they won't listen each time.
The same debate. Yeah. And you just think, well, you've been explained this now 10 times or sometimes 100 times, and you're still bringing up this same question that if you actually was to have looked at the person's response, there's answers there as to why you're wrong. Do you know what I mean? But they cannot accept it. They go on to the next victim.
And that's why, you know, I think it sounds, I'm gonna come across sounding like a complete pessimist in this stream. I'm not. I promise you, I'm not. But it gets to the point where, you know, how much more time am I going to spend trying to explain, trying to teach, if someone's not willing to listen? It's just a shame. It's a real shame.
I get that even with making videos sometimes. Like, sometimes I literally go like a week or two and I just lose inspiration because I feel a little bit like I'm not getting through. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I know I've got a following from the kind of Globers side, but sometimes I think I'm sitting there making like an anti-flat earth video and 98% of my viewers are globe earthers. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I might get, say, Flatzoid or something, like, watch it, but am I really going to sit there for 3 hours making a video specifically for like 5 flat earthers to watch it? Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's my target audience. You know, it's so difficult. Like,
I suppose the thing is, you probably are getting through to at least some extent, but it's probably very hard to see it. You know, because as many people have said, it's the ones that there are a lot of people that would have crossed the point of no return that didn't. You know. And you might not hear from them, because if you didn't hear from them, or if I didn't hear from them, I wouldn't blame them. You know, of course, like you know, so if I was a flat earther and I suddenly realized, oh my god, this is all wrong, I would be so embarrassed. I would not tell anyone. I would rather just slink off quietly. Do you know what I mean? And just maybe stop, change my YouTube or whatever. So, but you know, some of them do, and you hear from debunkers all the time that people have said, you know, oh, you've basically stopped me from slipping too far. So I think it does happen, but you're right. It's very, very difficult to stay motivated. But
it is. I mean, you're almost trying to get someone to convert from a religion in a way, and obviously once that religion does also, to some people, tie into flat Earth. You know, it's to change someone's actual beliefs like that. It's a big ask. So that's why I kind of don't think. I suppose maybe I shouldn't put too much pressure on myself. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And make videos, try and make them more informative for Globers as well. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people say, you know, oh, I like your kind of ones where you touch on the psychology a little bit more, and so maybe it's having help in those effects, isn't it, as well? You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's I mean, because you know what it's like on the other side, so you have that angle to bring from, which is really good. I mean, another thing which I don't know if you think about this all the time, but you're also an example of someone that has come back from flat Earth and has done all right. So that's another thing you've got going for you, because, you know, people think like, oh, you know, oh, I'm going to get rejected by everyone, I'm going to lose all my friends and things like that. Well, I could say, well, no, because look at Seek Truth, Speak Truth, because he's now got a whole another community that welcomed him with open arms, and he's frankly doing much, much better. And you can visibly see it. So
and I'm almost shocked actually that none of the charlatans actually thought to themselves, hang on a minute. When he changed, he fucking, he jumped right up in the subscribers, and do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do it as well, because there are Poes out there. So I was very surprised, really, that no one tried to follow in those footsteps, even if they weren't genuine about it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because they could have got a lot of exposure from it.
Yeah, I think I'll see you later, Chris, in the chat. Chris is going. And Dave Max
See you
here
later,
as
buddy.
well. Dave Mack's been dropping cheeky comments in the chat every now and then. See you, Dave.
Hello, Dave, mate.
But
I did obviously.
yeah,
I offered him to come in, but he's a bit busy, I think. But he said he might be sitting in the chat. So, hello, Dave, buddy.
That's fine. Whatever. But no, it's been. The thing is that about this community is that there's always. So there's so many things that I learned that I didn't know before. Before coming across Flat Earth. So I suppose maybe the silver lining with Flat Earth and maybe some of these other conspiracies is I think it's gotten a lot of people interested in science and in critical thinking that probably wouldn't have before, And these aren't people that have come from Flat Earth or anything like that, or maybe they were a little bit, but you know what I mean. That there wouldn't people. There's a lot of people that probably wouldn't be that bothered about science, and just go on with their life. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, but this has got a lot of people thinking, which I think is quite good. Do you know what I mean? It's got a lot of people thinking, wait, how do we know that? Or how does that work?
Yeah.
I didn't know
that. Like say Limey Play, who was on the other night, he's not an academic, or he, is very similar to me in a way where he's, but obviously he stumbled across it and actually was like, oh yeah, we do live on a globe. And he's learned a lot since then, if you know what I mean. And kind of obviously when I found it, I went the wrong side of the path. But yeah, like you say, I get a lot of comments on that saying, not necessarily me, but like other debunkers have definitely brought a passion back in people that they really didn't have since leaving school. They might just, have a job that's nothing to do with science and never really think about it. And now suddenly they're like, wow, and learning about astronomy again and taking notice of that conjunction that happened a month ago. And, and they would have never cared before.
Yeah. And it's like, well, I'll bring up Red's rhetoric again. The sort of work that he's done he's genuinely really impressive. I mean, he's gone from someone that just likes taking pictures of and filming rocket launches to someone who's really, to be honest, knocking on the door of sort of professional standards of shooting these rockets, and how he triangulated the position of the ISS, he measured its speed using maths, and he did that quite cleverly, and he explained everything through. And I thought that's brilliant. I would have never have thought about looking at the ISS, but how cool is that? I mean, you can track it, and you can sometimes see it. I think that's great. I didn't think about before. I didn't think about live feeds from space, like from places like the ISS, and that kind of blew my mind, to be honest. I thought it was the first time I checked out the Himawari 8, because I didn't really know about the Himawari 8 until people say, oh, what about the Himawari 8 as a debunk? And I thought, oh, okay, Himawari 8. So I went on the website. I don't know if you've done this. Went onto the Himawari.
I have, 8. Yeah. I've done a video on it.
And you look at it, and it's like, holy hell! I mean, there's the images but then you zoom in. Have you zoomed in? Because you zoom in, and that's when it gets across, like, the quality that you have. Usually when you zoom in, it will get more pixelated because the quality is so high. It's still very, very crisp, and it's like, wow, that is something else. Yeah.
Yeah, the way that comes across, yeah. And people, again, though, they'll say, because I think the Blue Marble 2 maybe used as like just the model that they use on it or something, and then basically they overlay the clouds or something like that. Because again, a flat earther will say, "Oh, the Himawari 8 is not a real image. You know, it's just the blue marble, this and that." I'm sure there is like a backlay or something, because I remember looking into it. But obviously, it is real-time weather data. And like I said, you know, it's not just a camera phone out in space, is it? That's taking a photo. I think there's like, I don't know, say 6 different bandwidths or something when I looked into it that, you know, it's taken.
Yeah, so the images from the Himawari are a composite, but it's a composite in the same way that so the footage from our cameras right now are a composite. That's just how digital cameras work.
Yeah, I think everything is, isn't it? Like
it's just grasp at anything they can get, you know. So anything and everything is proof that it's fake. And I think if you're having to throw, if you're getting to the point where you're having to literally throw out pictures and videos and live feeds, then it's like, well, I mean, I can't really help you. Then you could just turn around to me and say anything is fake. So unless I send you up in a rocket to space yourself, but then you'll probably come up with something.
Yeah,
you'll
the
probably
windows
come
are
up with
curved.
something. Yeah. My eyes are curved. Or so. It's sad but true. You know as well as I do, they will come up with something, even if.
Yeah, you saw that obviously with Mage. You know, just the sheer denial, and it can't get much better than that, really.
That was brilliantly. Credit to Mr. Sensible there. That was fantastically done. That was very, 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 very well done. The use of the lines, it's just basically a bit of string, wasn't it? the top and the bottom.
Yeah, I think I was taught sort of wire, I think.
Yeah, well, it's as a reference, and because you do get distortion with some types of lens. So, and he explains all of it, but he accounts for it really, really well. And he even, the thing that he does is he even explains, okay, this is where some distortion could possibly be, and this is how I know that there isn't much distortion. So it's very well explained, but then, you know, as flat earthers, it doesn't matter how much evidence you show them, they will not accept it. They will never ever
unless they're ready. I think it was like someone sort of described it as very similar to like a drug addict, really. You know, unless you're physically ready to give up your addiction, you know, people can try and help you and say as much as they possibly can, but unless
that's a
you
very
want
interesting analogy. Sorry, Seat, go on.
No, that's cool. I think Jose JG just jumped on just a minute ago. I don't know if my eyes were playing tricks on me, but it's not there now. Yeah, that'd be quite interesting.
Hello, Jose, you still there?
Sure. I literally don't know where I kind of looked up and I thought he was there, but then he's disappeared, I think.
I don't see him. Oh, maybe it's further.
No, I think he actually popped up in the guests.
Oh, okay. Oh, can you see stuff like that?
Jose JG.
There you go. There I am.
Hello. How are you, mate?
Hey,
this is a crossover from an alternate universe. Earth is flat, space is fake. I'm just kidding. What's up?
Not much.
How you doing?
Well, I subscribed to you, and I said, like, let me see who's live. I think there's a few live choices to watch around. I said, let me check what's going on. I said, like, yeah, there's a link over here. Might as well click and join, because why not?
Do it. Now, you're welcome, bud. You're welcome. You know, our kind of back and forth we had before, I actually deleted the videos that I made, and I was like, I don't want them out on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's silly having stupid back and forths like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we should be yeah, just able to
I
have
avoided.
adult
I watched the
conversations.
whole thing. I read the comment section. I said, you know what? Yeah, I say my channel sometimes. I'm not going to address that because that will keep adding and adding. I just keep doing my thing. I'll let you do my thing. You see, I just stay off your shoulders. You're doing great, you know. I'll do my thing. You do yours, pretty much. And if I get a chance like today, I say I got like 10, 15 minutes. I don't know for how long he's going. So let me jump in and say hi. And Bullet Bill used to go on my channel a while too. Bullet Bill is
Yeah,
a smart guy too. So good on you
yeah.
guys.
There's no hard feelings, Jose. I know we've had our disagreements, but yeah, I've
Yeah,
not.
Christ.
Yeah, it's not. It's never been anything personal. And and your show, I've just kind of like fallen. You know, I'm just gonna stop going to it. You know, it's one of those things. It's not necessarily because it's bad or anything like that. It's just
It
one of
get
those
too
things.
loud. It get too groundhoggy day, you know, too deja
Yeah,
vu, too
yeah.
a lot of
It's
like. I think I heard this yesterday. Yeah, I heard it 10 minutes ago when you say nah and yeah, what are you gonna say 10 minutes from now? Nah again. So of course, you know. Shout out
yeah.
to flat
You
I
gotta,
earthers
can
out
see
there.
how that'd be addictive though, because like even with Try Thinking and all these guys, I'm been like, you know, jump on or let's set up a debate sort of thing. Like, so I'm actually getting that itch
you
for
get
it myself. I
you
think
get the
now.
bloodlust, but yeah, you got to be ready if you go on Jose's because it's gonna be yeah, you can have a few
It's an
fights on your hands.
evolving. I say every time I've been doing the live guest the show with guests like open shows for almost 2 years now, I think, and every day I can, you know, depends on the people that is as the panelists and who is pro, who is against. Depends on the interaction. Is like one can jump from one mindset to another. So it depends. I try to keep it dynamic. I don't like too much of a group think. You know, everybody in the same boat. I really like the diversity and the shots fired and the little bit of a triggering, and I'll throw you a rock and I hide my hand like, no, it was you. You know, I like a little bit of that fighting and excitement. I don't know. It's what I do.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
that's your
it's
kind of, that's your, what's it called, USP. Do you know what I mean? Like your unique selling point, you know,
yeah.
like,
I think when I think Jose. To be fair, when you get that spot on Jose, you have a very very good show. But it's hard to get that sweet spot. But like there are some flat earthers that are quite that you know that you can talk to and that will, you know what I mean, don't you, Jose? That
Yeah, I
that's
totally
fine.
understand. Yeah, there was a few that I'm very disappointed at them. One of them I gotta tell his name, the Plain Truth. He hasn't been on my show. That's Travis, the Plain Truth, the trucker guy. He does a lot of zoom in smudges and fucking garbage footage. Sorry, not
Oh,
swearing.
level and
Uh,
horizontal. Yeah.
I know, man. So I got annoyed with him a year ago, whatever. When he used to go, I said, "Well, Travis, you know, I get angry at you not because I'm mad at you, but because I'm mad at where you coming from. You know, what are you thinking? You know, you need to jump up and progress in the discussion. You need to learn a little more." He wanted to stay stuck, and I just gonna zoom into the horizon, take all kinds of freaking mirages and refraction pictures, and that's it.
mm,
That's all I said. You know, do an attempt, you know, to talk about the sun and the moon and the stars and other stuff, the angles, the rotations. I mean, everything. It's
there's so much more
disappointing, you
to
know.
it.
Very disappointing
Yeah,
that they don't want to do it.
that's it. Even like I say, with say, Try Thinking, or, you know, I think these are not, you know, mostly genuine nice guys, but they're so stuck in their way. And I understand it. You know, you're trying to prove yourself right. You know, and it's so difficult to actually go, oh, I'm not right. You know, obviously
The
Jose managed to do it, and but like say Ranty, I know he's not doing his videos anymore, but again, stuck in every video he did was proving the globe, and he could not
yeah.
see it. You know.
It's the ones that are especially tiring though. Jose mentioned are the ones that they will have their thing, and it will just be that thing. Because at least if they're going to talk about other things, you could talk about CGI or whatever,
Try
gravity.
thinking,
But
bro.
yeah,
Horizontal, perpendicular, level,
yeah.
level and horizontal. You throw those two words to try thinking, level and
Don't
horizontal, and you can talk for
don't
hours
you'll
after
call him
hours
back.
about it.
You'll
They,
call him back. His ears will pick up now. He'll be back in the chat.
I mean, that's it, man. That's his
You
niche,
can't.
you know.
But
we
that's
got
the thing. He can
we got a
twist it up
character
and
is water. Some are the level horizontal. There's another one is water. Pretty much that's the only two arguments on flat Earth.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
level.
It's difficult. It is difficult, but he could, anyone that doesn't know what they're talking about, he could twist them up in knots. If you know what I mean. Like that's why when I said about debate and try thinking before, I said, well, we need 3 topics because I know one of yours is obviously going to be level, horizontal, etc. But can we also talk about rotation or navigation, or do you know what I mean? Like something else where I can easily disprove you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it is so easy to understand the point that they have a skill to obfuscate and steer you in a different direction. I say so.
Yeah.
Whatever shape the Earth is a sphere, is flat. You look up, if you are in the northern areas, in the Americas, and you're gonna see a North Pole star either closer to the horizon or above you, and you're gonna point at it, and there's a rotation. Now go as far away as you can, and when the North Star is not seen, you're gonna have a rotation somewhere. It's not gonna be a middle star like the North Star, but there's gonna be a star rotation, right? Going in the opposite direction. It doesn't matter if you go in one way or another, but where what happens if I'm looking ahead of me and I'm seeing that southern rotation? If I got a person back to me looking to looking to the south, I said just put 3 or 4 people in different parts of the southern looking their south. What is going on? How many rotation points we got? 1, 2, 3, 1,000? It cannot be. I cannot. Just show me in a crayon drawing. Show me in some kind of a picture illustration. How does that work? If the Earth is not a sphere, it's the only shape that it makes sense. You just gotta step out, put yourself in the third-person point of view, and just look at it happening, and then you put yourself on Earth, and it's the only way that works. They cannot present that on a visual for me, for anybody. You gotta invoke magic. It's the only way. Invoke magic.
Especially if you're in the southern hemisphere and you look south. So you could be in Australia and then someone else in Chile, and you both look south. You'd be looking out opposite directions on a flat planet, wouldn't you? But obviously on a ball, you're then looking at the same center spot.
Because I think that's why a lot of them don't touch the traditional flat Earth, dome of stars, the old flat Earth azimuth. A lot of them don't touch that anymore because they know that points like you said, Jose, are just so you're not going to explain your way out of that one. So it's just they'd rather just not mention it at all.
For the longest time when I was a flat earther, I refused to look up and to explain a sunrise and a sunset. Something as easy as everybody with eyes on Earth, every human on Earth with eyes witness this. Is the simplest phenomena to explain, and it's part of our system. It's part of where we live, unless we are in some kind of a bunker or a room all our lives, and we don't look up to the skies and we don't see a sunrise and sunset. So I refuse to look at that. I said, no, I'm on the land. I'm gonna figure out what I'm living on. I'm gonna just keep zooming into the horizon and try to bring boats back in and looking at lighthouses and buildings. No, but the stars and the moon and the eclipses.
The sky fallacy.
Yeah, the sky fallacy. That's what they call it. I say, no, we need to figure out what we stand on.
Yeah, that's the worst kind of argument ever, really, isn't it? The whole snooker table sort of thing. Like, oh, the balls are all round and the table's flat. Like, oh my god, like
which is funny because
stupid.
A lot of them that are any flat earther that sort of repeats that probably knows that don't mention the sky, don't mention the stars, don't mention the moon because that's bad. So just
it will destroy
we're going to say to our followers, don't look up.
They don't have an answer.
That's what they have to say. Projection and stuff like that. I'm just going to pop to the toilet for 2 seconds, guys. I'll be back in a minute, so I'll just leave you two at it. Literally 2 minutes. I'll be back.
Yeah, no worries.
They don't have an answer for any phenomena observed in the skies. But if you push them and put a little pressure, they're gonna say, well, I don't know what it is, neither do you. Or no. You want to say that's it because you've been indoctrinated and you've been taught that this is the way it works. I just choose not to tell you what it is because I don't know and neither do you. It's the is the I don't know fallacy. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, you definitely. That's so accurate that they will get, and they'll. You'd have to push them and push them, push them, push them, push them, and they never want to say, because it's horrible for them to say, "Oh, I don't know something," but eventually they will get to that point where it's "I don't know," and you know what, that's fine if you don't know something. Go, that's completely honest, but then don't then say.
That is not what you say. That is not what hundreds and thousands of people, generation after data compile. They get to that conclusion, but that's not it. Don't worry about it, because I don't believe you.
I don't know what it is, but it's not that. And you think, what is it then?
I attempted doing a few episodes on tell me what it is and know what it isn't. It is so hard to make them understand that, because the argument is, I'm going to talk about the globe. Flat earthers say, I'm going to talk about the globe. I'm going to tell you how the globe doesn't work, even though what they mean is, even though I'm going to misrepresent the globe, and I'm going to tell you how I don't understand the globe. So I'm going to talk about the globe. So I'm going to tell you this is not that way and that doesn't work. I mean, please tell me what it is then. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, because I think it's far easier to try and point out flaws and things, or to try and make things out to be, wrong, or it's not that, it's this. It's far easier to do that with someone's already done the work for them and they're just going to pick at it, rather than actually have to come up with their own explanations and theories. Which is just lazy when you think about it. It's very, very lazy.
It's entertaining, dude. And I mean, English is not my first language. Everybody knows that. I'm not the more mathematically person. I'm not too good in numbers. I used to be in high school or whatever. I don't have the highest education, but just from a normal person walk of life, from a normal person, not just have a high school, not even having the first language, I can visualize things, I can understand. I mean, it helped me a little bit that I actually studied perspective and drawing, and it helped me understand better, the 75% they talk about observations. They want to throw perspective in there like it's the magic spell. Perspective, whoa, I'm going to melt or something, So you have to have a little bit of common sense to understand where they're coming from. They just put a lot of words that have nothing to do with reality.
I've got a guest, actually, somebody that's never been on the channel. Juju Bear, if you're there, I'm about to bring you in the room. Hello? Juju
Never
Bear?
heard that name. Yeah.
No, we
No.
could be at risk here, guys. It could, yeah.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Got a bit of a beard going on there, Jose.
I got a little bit of a beard, months and months, and it's longer. It's just get condensed. It's gonna leave this face in my birthday. That's March 15. So I'm gonna do a little, I don't know, do my little show while I shave my beard, while everybody's shouting at each other in my show. I'll be in camera just shaving my beard. Why not? Make it fun.
I would never get to that point. I hate, because it was, I've had a shave recently, and I hate when my beard grows. Got to get rid of it.
I bet you've got really thick beard, though. I bet, ain't you? I bet when you grow it,
it grows pretty fast. I've never grown it out. I'm just lazy, and I get to the point where I'm like, I can't be dealing with it anymore. Then I shave. That's how
I have to grow mine. Like, if I don't have facial hair, I just look like a testicle. So, like, I've got to have like a little bit of like
a bit of a Carl Pilkington.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have to have like a little something just so you can define my jawline. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think some people, some of the flat earthers that are still very, very vocal and verbal around in the channels, the Gary Wybengas, the Try Thinkings, the Bryans that go in my channel, the Nathans, I think they are afraid. They are deep inside them. They are very insecure and afraid to accept reality for what it is, not knowing a lot of things, not being able to do a lot of things. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't take away anything from you. The opposite, actually. I mean, you gotta accept that there are things that we cannot do and test ourselves. There's people, that been doing it for so long and a lot smarter than us with a lot of capabilities of doing and testing and all this stuff. So we cannot be afraid of not knowing a lot of things. All we can do is attempt and
You guys see me or?
learn.
Hello.
we see you.
Yeah, we can see you, Gigi Bear.
Wow, that's so. Wait, so I'm on like the stream right now.
You're
You
live
on,
on
you on the
stream.
telly.
You're
You
on
on the
stream.
telly right now.
Hi, Mum. Yeah, you're
You
How
guys
are
were
you
like
doing?
really
You okay?
like cutting out. It was my internet. I'm
your
doing
connection
great.
Might be a little bit.
How are you guys?
Very well,
Oh
mate.
yeah, my
Yep, very well
connection's pretty
indeed.
bad. I apologize for that.
That's okay. I mean, well,
That's okay,
Secret-
mate. Yeah, I
Seat
mean,
cuts
you're
off
on my
every
stream, buddy,
10
so
minutes.
yeah, can't be worse than mine. So yeah, no, good for you to pop in. Good for you to pop in. I haven't seen you a lot. You're quite a newcomer to the scene, shall we say? Are you, or have you been around long?
Either he's playing the freeze
I don't
game,
think
but
it's-
he's very still. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you're quite hearing us. Are you on your computer? Because sometimes if you go on your phone, it's actually quicker. If you go on like 4G or whatever, I've found it's actually quicker sometimes than your own landline.
Oh,
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah, I think you're struggling a little bit though.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah,
all right. It's
that
not
would
your
be my
fault.
internet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay, mate. We'll go through it, like I say. Can you hear me okay now?
I can hear everyone okay. Yes.
So what I was thinking is say, how did you find this argument, shall we say? Because I don't think I've seen your name about. So are you sort of new around, or you've been watching long?
I've been watching your channel for a little bit, and yeah, I'm not sure because I'm a little late to the stream, and I saw the link and I kind of clicked on it, and yeah, I'm sorry. I'm also
Is it the first time you've been on a stream?
yeah, I didn't expect that I would be like this awkward, but I guess
just relax. Honestly, I know how it feels because it's like, oh my god, I'm on stream.
Yeah, you're on the big screen TV over there, but no pressure.
Because I was like that when the first time I stumbled across Jose's stream. I was like, Jose was talking about clicking the link, and I was like, okay. It's like, so can anyone just do it? And I clicked it, and I was all of a sudden I was on the stream, and I was
That's
like,
the beauty of it, bro.
yeah,
I love
was
it.
like, oh, holy shit, I'm hi. So that was fun.
I didn't expect to like get on here. So
I mean, see Truth Speak Truth actually rigorously, goes through all the people trying to get on, and you made the cut, so
yeah.
that's so cool.
There were dozens
I love
of
that.
people in the waiting room. I saw that. He said, "No, Juju sounds like a good follower here." So let me bring it on.
Well,
That's funny.
I feel like honored right now. Thank you so much for letting me be on here.
Yeah, no, mate. Honestly,
Well,
that's okay.
you have heard about these people that believe that the Earth is flat, like physically actually flat. Space is fake. Nothing in space. No rockets launches. Nothing. The Earth has to be some kind of a plane, and the sun, the moon, and the stars are like very tiny and surrounding around the Earth. What do you think? Like, what comes to your mind if you try to visualize that? Like, believing in deep inside you, the Earth is flat. Globe is the biggest lie ever.
Yeah, I have seen quite a few. I have gotten. Well, I say I have gotten into the flat Earth thing. I don't believe in the Earth. I don't believe that the Earth is flat. I've just been looking at a lot of trying to understand the mindset of a lot of the flat earthers, and I think I'm like getting it. Clearly, it's nonsense, but yeah, I know that a lot of people believe the Earth is flat. It's a little confusing sometimes.
Yes, it is. Just for like should we say a normal guy from the streets? Do you know what I mean? Like most people are going to look at flat Earth and just be like, "What on earth is this?" Do you know what I mean? Jose, actually,
Yeah.
we never really asked you what actually made you get into flat Earth. Like, how did you find it?
It was
Before,
recommended to me on YouTube. I was just looking for podcasts and lectures, science stuff to look at and listen in the background. Michio Kaku, a lot of lectures of him. Through Michio Kaku, I was recommended Joe Rogan with Eddie Bravo podcast they had together. And that was my introduction to flat Earth. That was the first video ever I clicked on it.
And you fell for it?
I entertained it. I said like, this is funny. Let me hear. Like now I understand. Like flat Earth, I thought it was some kind of a meme, a movement, something like scientist, like Scientology or something. But I realized like no, it was real. Like people is actually proposing that the actual shape of the earth we're on is flat. I didn't know it was that deep and that big, and I just kept looking and looking into flat earth 24/7, month after month, until I got brainwashed. I say like, yeah, everything is a lie, earth is flat, we don't know, there's space is fake, everything. I believed it all, bro. I was in that hole for like 2 solid years, man.
Oh, 2 years. Oof.
Solid, yeah. In being part of member like now in some of the biggest flat earth shows out there, Hey, I learned.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever fell that deep. Like I've when looking like at the flat earth stuff, like I think at one point I did like try to find like the best evidence for a flat earth. Like I thought, let's see, what could I see that would like show that the earth is flat? And so I kind of like looked at like the core beliefs of a flat earther. So it's usually Christians. And so I looked at like, what is their model? And then it turns out their model is they have none. And the ones that say they do have a model, the ones that they say they do have a model, they will argue quite a bit with other people that say they have a model. And
I mean,
they'll tell you your model's wrong, but not present one themselves.
And every time they say they got no model, they are being very hypocritical, because their model is water doesn't bend and has to be contained. And we are in a flat surface with mountains and hills, right? So they got a model. So they have a container surrounding the waters, which are flat. Oh. It doesn't matter how you lay out the continents. It's going to be in some kind of a pizza that you're going to put the continents as the ingredients and the water as the cheese melted around it.
Yeah.
Container and the cross outside. Period. That's the model.
Well, I'm pretty sure that at least 3 of us remember when there definitely was a flat Earth model, and they weren't hiding that. They weren't hiding it. They were bringing it out, and saying, "Oh, look at how it works." And
was that say Jeranism, stuff like that?
Oh, Jeranism, but all the major flat Earthers, Mark Sargent, Debate, that they all paraded this model as if like, oh, look how it explains things. The sun goes around like this, and you've got the. And now they're trying to pretend that they're trying to pretend like, let's just pretend that didn't happen, even though some of them I think want to still still stick by it. But...
Look at their thumbnails on their videos. Look at the background. The background. Look, I got my squeaky earth and I got my JG clock. But what do they have? They have a little AE map, the azimuthal equidistant map in the back. Oh, that's not a model. It's something like to make it look cool. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's the way the map would be presented as well, isn't it? They go, oh, but all maps are flat, so therefore the Earth is flat. just like, well, how big a globe do you want? You can't fit one of them in your car, can you? Do you know what I mean? If that's gonna, God, it's just ridiculous.
It's silly, super silly. They say like, yeah, but you cannot say I got a model like it's like the AE because it could be an infinite plane or whatever. I said, yeah, but still, I mean, so we got waters and continents going forever. Like, let me take a look at that. You know, do you got any inside like sneaky video, drone footage, high altitude plane or balloon that's showing me this further away lands away from the ice wall or whatever? I mean, it's silly, very, very silly. It's fun, it's entertaining, but it's very silly.
You know, I think my favorite part of flat Earth model is when you point out like the inconsistencies of like the distance to point A to point B is wrong if that was your model, and then they at first they're like, oh yeah, this is how the model looks, and then they're like, well, actually it's not completely completed, need to do some tweaking.
There's
should be the easiest thing in the world though, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
like a flat map and a flat Earth to scale should be the easiest thing ever, and it shows you why.
If you can't get distances right, then I mean, what kind of a map is that? I'll tell you one debunker that's really old now, but is a fantastic debunker. It's Cool Hard Logic, and I don't know if you've seen his videos, Speak Truth, but yeah, he did.
I have, but I think personally, actually, he's one of these guys though that to a flat earther, it's not going to help him, because he's like literally going like, you'd have to be an idiot to think that the Earth was flat, and do you know what I mean? Like, so it's going to push people away, if you know what I mean. But obviously, anyone on the fence, it would have helped millions, if you know.
There
what I
are
mean.
some guys nowadays that I really appreciate. Miles Davis is one of the guys that he did the mountain observation that is below, falls below the horizon line. He's good because he's an older guy. He had a lot of health issues. He still go out there with his cameras, his P900s and other cameras, and he does his observations and he put them out there for today's arguments on the flat Earth. People active also Blue Marble Science with his Cavendish experiment for those who want to try to refute gravity, you know. And then we got a bunch of people like that they are like hands on the day-to-day and going to the war zones and jumping into the discourse, the flat earthers little circles, and they throw themselves out there. All right, let me put my thick skin outfit and go out there and get insulted by flat earthers because they, for as a counter argument, they're gonna insult you. You know, it's a tricky one.
That is, like, you know, the fact that they're going out there. I can sit here all day saying the Earth's not flat, we live on a globe, but I'm only showing evidence sometimes or whatever. But yes, I've observed that the Earth isn't flat, but I haven't really shown anyone. So it's why I love those channels, like you say, Blue Marble Science. Obviously, Mr. Sensible when he done his Mage. Like, I love things like that where. It was just such these people don't have to do that. It's easy to sit there and kind of press record and go live, isn't it? But to actually plan out and set experiments up and set this up and test it, and do you know what I mean? But I think we've all got our own place. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all good and getting better at what we do. I think it's good.
You can have the better intentions to go to talk to flat earthers, and you can be the most educated guy and the most cool. And I got all the evidence to present it. Let me go and attempt to talk to them. Dude, you're getting yourself in some trouble because they have the gnarliest tactics ever, man. They know from the A to Z how to derange a conversation and how to flip it back to you. In order for me, let me present you what I got to present you. No, let me ask you every single questions under the book. And I want to know all the definitions. If I say one sentence, I want to know the definition of every single word of this sentence before we try to move on. And then at the end, let me ask you the questions and let me tell you how. It's weird, man. It's really interesting, bro. It's a very, very psychological study that is going down over here, man.
We've got.
Oh, just noticed.
By the way,
sorry. Oh yeah, you've spotted it as well.
So according to Dave Mack, Superflurf claiming that you can't see the curve from Google Earth. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to share my screen quickly. I don't know if you mind, guys.
Yeah, go for it.
And let's see.
Pretty sure you can. I play with Google Earth as a like in school.
Yeah, I'm
I didn't have much. I didn't have much to do because they blocked all the games, and I played with Google Earth because they blocked all the games. So I'm pretty sure I've seen the curve.
Guess I was wrong. I mean, where's the curve?
Before you do that, Bullet Bill, I gotta run. I gotta get out of here. I've been called, and the dogs are calling me too. So thank you very much, Six True. Thank you, Bullet.
Okay, mate.
Later,
yeah, Jose. Very, very good to see you.
Lovely.
Good looking at you.
Everyone in the chat, I'm sure you've heard of Jose, but go and check him out. Another ex-flat earther. There's not many of us about there, so support the guys that realise it's a load of nonsense. Thanks for coming along, buddy.
It's a new day, and looking forward always. Forget about yesterday. We move forward, man. Take care, everybody.
Cool. Peace.
See you, Jose.
See you later,
yeah,
bud.
I mean, so Dave Mack was the claim that Google Earth did he? Can we just clarify something here? Was the claim that Google Earth did not show a curve? I mean,
I don't see any curves.
No, that's only round because our eyes are round.
Our flip's upside down. How about that? Not that that's up and that's down, but
yeah.
And again, it's difficult. It's difficult for flat earthers to understand that, you know, when you think of South Pole, and then you automatically think like, oh, everyone in Australia is standing upside down, but that's so not true, is it? Like,
no,
everyone is upright. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but the fact that
you know, if you're out in space a million miles, someone's going to look upside down to you, but like actually on that Earth, everyone is upright. You know.
Yeah,
such an amazing thing. I love Google Earth.
The ones that say, I think the ones that say that, you know, oh, you know, you're upside down when you're in Australia or something like that. I think those are the ones that say dumb things on purpose, because, like, if you've had any sort of education at all, you know how how it works, how a globe works, unless they haven't had an education, which actually might be the case. But I think the ones that say that you're upside down, I think those are the ones that are saying dumb things on purpose just to annoy us.
Like that's disingenuous ones.
From my experience, my brief experience.
I think so.
I honestly don't think so. I think it's
a split.
It's what I mentioned before. You know, it's such a stupid thing that people cannot believe that they would sincerely hold these beliefs. But no, it's because it's that thing that, you know, well, if this is up and this is down, but then it's just so it's such a simple thing to misunderstand. But as soon as someone has got into you with forget what you've learned at school, forget what they say, that opens the door up to anything. You know?
That's a good point. That's a good point, yeah.
So the common sense that would have been telling you, well, no, because down's towards the ground because of gravity. Well, no, because you've been trained. Well, gravity doesn't exist, so I don't have to worry about that. Therefore, I'm going to say down is this, and I'm going to say it should. So Flat Earth empowers people to... Oh, we've got a screenshot of the comment. Thank you very much, Dave. it's when they Google Earth shows no. Oh, that's beautiful.
That needs to go in the museum. That's museum material right there.
Google Earth shows no curve. Oh, that's brilliant. Google Earth shows no curve.
The reason I think the disingenuous people say Eric Dubay will always bring up the kind of like, you know, that picture of when you see a big a cruise ship upside down, if you know what I mean, like, you know, as if that was like hanging off the bottom of the ball, and it's like, you know, how on earth do you think gravity is holding this to you know, the size of the Earth. But I think the way people need to look at it is the Earth is so huge that even say, you know, even like a balloon, how it gets static, and you could have a speck of dust easily stick on a balloon upside down, and that's basically what a human being is standing on Earth, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's
Yes.
just something there, you know.
I like those pictures of like basketballs and tennis balls, like, tiny, balls and stuff, like, but zoomed in so close to where it would look like, like, oh, looks like, I guess the basketball's flat. Nah, clearly.
Yeah. It's scale. It literally is scale.
It's scale.
We can't imagine just how huge Earth is. I don't think we can. Again, if you scale the Earth down to the size of a basketball, the actual oceans on it would be like something like 0.06 millimeters thick, if you know what I mean.
You could get a napkin and dry it off.
Yeah,
basically.
Yep. And then what is left on that ball would probably represent basically what the oceans are on Earth anyway. So it's nothing compared to the actual pure size of the Earth. But what are you doing at school then, Juju Bear? What are you studying?
In school, I'm still in high school, but I do actually have a class that studies where I study the Earth, the planets, and rocks and stuff. So that's actually interesting. I have that class and I'm here. So,
is there anyone like in your school or anything that trying to judge the younger generation like that is flat earthers? Do you hear that in school at all? Like,
no, I don't think there are any flat earthers in my school. Yeah, I don't think I have any like real conspiracy theorists.
And that does show you.
Yeah.
You know, I think like when you step away from the internet, where obviously people will gather together, and it can kind of look bigger than it is. So whilst these flat earthers all jump in these flat earth channels, and they're like, "We're taking over the world. We're taking over the world." But you know, go out in your local city and ask 10,000 people if they're a flat earther. I reckon you'd be very lucky to find one. You know,
on this YouTube channel, I actually suspect it to be like having subliminal messages in it because of how strange how strangely it's put together. But that's not the point. Like there's this, I saw a comment on it. The video is like, oh, the Earth is in a crater. Basically, it's crater Earth theory, which is actually a little bit more ridiculous than flat Earth, I think. But there's this person like, oh yeah, everyone's waking up. There's so many more people now. Like in this channel, it's awakening everyone, and yet it's getting less popular. You realize that it's getting less popular. Have you looked at the Google? If you look at the statistics of how much less people are actually searching up flat Earth on YouTube, it's kind of getting lower and lower.
Yeah.
Once in a while you'll see a spike, but that's in short times. If you look at the overall, it's
Okay, one more for Can I just this is the last thing I'm going to do to humor Superfleur. So originally it was Google Earth was now it's apparently oh no, I was saying from a side profile or something like that. So yeah, here we go again. So I know what he's going to try and say here. So I'll try and you guys carry on talking. I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do, because it's like there's a lot of fiddling around I need to do. But
I'll just say hello to a few people in the chat. Ricky Bell, you legend, mate. You're always popping up. I hope you're really good. Martin H, Theo, fun guy. Andy C. Hello, buddy. You're my friend on Facebook. I recognise your profile picture. moderator. There you go. Donnie, hello. The Mighty One, Super Flurf, you're still here, bud. Ground level side elevation profile. Have you got your screen ready to share, bud?
Yeah, I'm sharing it now.
Let's see what we got here.
So it looks flat here, but let's zoom out. I'm going to have to keep on zooming out. Still pretty close to surface. Oh, didn't mean to do that. It's quite cool because you can rotate with Google Earth as well. I didn't realize. Zoom out again. Because the Earth is really, really big, dude. It's like...
That's crazy,
huge.
yep.
But you can see there definitely is a curve, dude. You just can't see it from
There it is.
close up. See? There's your curve. Zoom out a little bit more. See? You're not going to see that at ground level, though. That's all right. Watch these goalposts get moved.
One thing I think, and I am still confused by this actually, and I know there is an explanation to it because I've heard FTFE say it, but I can't remember it. But some flat earthers struggle with, say, how can a ship disappear? I'm just being sort of devil's advocate now. How can a ship disappear going, say, directly away from you, and obviously viewably start disappearing bottom up? But then they'll say, but then you look left to right, the same distance, you know, it could be 9 miles off in the distance, but you can't then see the curvature. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know if Bill, you've got a...
It's it's yeah, I know how to explain it, but it's a bit like it's a hard one to kind of visualize. So if you think of your field of vision, you can only see so much of left to right. You're looking out like that, you know? What you're seeing is actually quite a narrow sort of cone going upwards like that. So you can't see left or you'd have to move your head like this, you know? Because at one time you could only see sort of this sort of section. Does this look really weird? You kind of get what I mean, don't you? You sort of look
No, I do
like
understand,
that, and you can only see that. You could see in terms of what you could see outwards, you can see quite far because you can keep seeing further and further and further into the distance, can't you? You don't have to do that. You can keep seeing. So you can see quite a long way there. So that's why you can see things going over the curve. But the left to right curve is much, much harder because you have to see quite a lot of the Earth in one sort of frame.
Yeah.
And you just can't see that, you know, especially when you're so close to the Earth, because your field of vision is too narrow. Does that make sense? So the only really way to account for that is to get further. It's like when you're taking a picture. You know, when you're taking a picture and you've zoomed out all you can, but you can't get your whole family in. The only thing you can do is go back. You know.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So you have to go back, or in other words, go higher, zoom out, and then you can see more of it, and then you can see the left to right. But you know, that's
I get you.
Yeah, you're not going to see it
make sense.
Yeah, sometimes I want to bring that up because, you know, little things that I still can't really explain. And I know, you know, there may be 2 or 3 flat earthers in here even. It may jog something in their mind, you know, as just a way to visualize things and realize that, you know, there is an explanation behind this. It is confusing at first, but broken down simply, you can then understand, that's why I'm not noticing this curvature left to right, if you know what I mean. Because like you say, I think it turns into a circle, doesn't it? Like kind of when you go like that, it always kind of looks like a circle around you a little bit, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like a cross section, isn't it? You can imagine this massive sphere, and you've just got this little bit on top that you can see. So, yeah, it's. I think flat earthers know all too well that curvature left to right curvature is very, very hard to see. even if you are, let's say, on a jet or something like that. So it's something that they like to bring up because they think it's in their favor.
Yeah.
But it's
I suppose straight out will be where, to your view, will be where obviously things would drop further. If you know what I mean. Say, but if you're looking left to right,
because obviously you can't see curve looking out either, because well the curve's blocking it. It's not as if you could see the other side of a hill, but the beauty of it is that if something goes over that, even if it's not very far over it, you can then see it, and that's the classic example that we keep seeing. So that's, you're not really seeing the curve when you see that, but the only real explanation is that it's the effects of the curve, exactly. So it's, you get all these, the problem is as well, it really, the thing I hate talking about the most when it comes to debunking and flat earth are shots of the horizon or boats or anything like that, because there's so much distortion that can get in the way and that can confuse things. And I think some of the times flat earthers will use that to muddy the waters, whereas if you like,
No, says well, yes.
Forget refraction, forget any of this distortion. Let's go to space, and then you could see the whole of Earth, and then there'd be no question. Then of course you can't, because CGI, so you can't really.
Makes me a little bit angry about that. They like to try to get all these pictures from the beach, and they'll either lie about where they are, or there's so much refraction at that time that there's any of the evidence would be useless, but they'll ignore the fact that what was that? There's a lake that has like these power lines running all the way in it, all the way through.
Lake Pontchartrain.
What?
Lake Pontchartrain.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Lake Pontchartrain.
Oh yes, that is.
Soundly.
And you zoom in, and there's the you see the power lines curving over, and they just ignore that.
Yeah, because obviously they say, it's just perspective, so things are lowering with distance. But if you look at like a normal perspective drawing, it will just be, say, I don't know how to do it here, like just an actual triangle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the Pontchartrain one is like that. Do you know what I mean? So there is a difference between if it was just going like that or still curving as well.
Well, perspective means that perspective means that things will get smaller. It's a very easy one to debunk yourself with this. You have nowhere to go. You can use the sun, which you see rise and set every day. You can literally do that. It does not change in size. If it was perspective, it will appear to get smaller or bigger. That does not happen. It's complete nonsense. The fact is that, because the thing is as well, let's say it's a flat Earth and the sun was always above it. It wouldn't matter how far away it got. It would never actually go under the flat Earth. It will get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, but it will never actually touch.
No, the sun would never set.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's the same for the moon, for just about everything. It's like it astounds me that they even still beat that.
I knew we obviously have that sort of phase between daytime and nighttime, but on the flat Earth, like light would actually just have to stop, wouldn't it? Because there's nothing to block it. So it would have all this energy to get so far, and then just go, boop, no, I'm not going anymore. Like, there's no explanation.
You've got this spotlight that's somehow illuminating this perfect sort of circular area. How, I don't know. Is it some sort of lampshade? But and it because it's kind of an attempt at an explanation that sort of works, but then throw in seasons and all of a sudden it's just all it's what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like
I think this was something that Simon Dan said. He's never you never see a flat Earth model that can successfully explain solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, sunsets, sunrises, and the
Yeah.
seasons. You can't have a flat Earth model that explains everything,
Mm.
but you can have the heliocentric model explain everything. And yet that
Yeah.
was the one that's false, of course. Yeah.
It's yeah, it is a shame, but you know,
There's a lot of lost people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of
there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that are ready to take advantage as well of said people, which I don't appreciate. You know,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is lying. This is scamming people.
It is.
Mm.
And it's that is not okay to me. You know, people say, like, you know, oh, people are going to think what they want to think. You know, each their own, and it's like, no, I'm sorry. When it comes to facts, when it comes to things like this, I'm sorry, but no, you know, it's not another point of view. It's just wrong. It just is.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a big difference.
Yeah,
and I think one of the ways that when people do get scammed and they actually get into it, I think one of the reasons why they end up staying, and I think this is something that I came up with, not did I? I don't know, but my theory was that the flat earthers, they'll obsess over it so much that they kind of push people in the real world away, because they're getting all this validation from their chat rooms and the the comment section of the YouTube videos, and they get this rush of feeling like the hero, and by the time they kind of get out of that phase, they've already pushed all their friends away, and well, I mean, they got all these new flat earth friends that will always be there for them, pat each other on the back, forever, and then and so you really can't go back at that point.
I think that's why I found it quite easy to come back, because I hadn't really gained much of a community as a flat earther, if you know what I mean. I think my channel actually only had about 200 subscribers before I changed, if you know what I mean. So I really wasn't. Yeah. So it just shows you what going back to the truth does. But so I didn't have that pull as to, I've gained friends here, or the belief of friendship. But it did, like you say, you push the people in your normal life away. You're trying to have a conversation, and then suddenly you go, do you know gravity's not real? Do you know what I mean? And your mate will just turn and go,
because you become so obsessed with it. It's like this new thing that you obsess over, because it's so it's such a big thing, and you can't stop thinking about it.
You can you could get to you could get to all the way down to the sort of Nathan Thompson level, where anyone he sort of encounters, he has to kind of convince that the Earth is just his life. It is everything that he does is flat Earth. I mean, it's just taken over the entire life.
I've actually gone to his channel and watched a few. Oh my gosh, it is kind of ridiculous, and that's an understatement. He's kind of kind of scary, and I would not want to encounter someone like that in real life. That would be so awkward. He was talking to this old guy, this older guy, and he was like, "Oh yeah, did you hear that the Earth is flat?" And he's like, the older guy is like, I couldn't tell if he was uncomfortable or intrigued,
But he needs to be. He's still
too
going
old
around
for that nonsense. Leave alone.
But he's still going around talking to kids. And
wasn't he the one that went to the school?
He went to the school.
Yeah, he was that guy.
He needs to be, because if he's not going to get arrested again, then he's going to get hurt by a parent, basically. And I can't say I'd sympathise with him.
Me neither.
The stuff he's trying to pull.
He seems to just hang on the edge at the minute, doesn't he? If you know what I mean. There's been a couple of videos.
He does.
he's like he has asked the parent for permission, if you know what I mean, and then the parent has said like, okay, then yeah, like you can film it, and you think, well, fair enough, you've asked the parent.
He finds
and-
parents. I think he probably waits till he finds a parent that's like, whatever, dude,
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
that's the same with
I
Dell.
wonder, yeah,
Like with Dell, with his, when he goes to the universities, and it looks
Yeah.
like he's convincing everyone, but I guarantee, every 30 people just go, "Fuck off, mate." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just straight away, and just like, "Shut up, buddy."
think,
Do you know what I mean? And just
yeah. I'm curious though, as to what Nathan would do or has done if a parent turned around and say, "No, you can't," because he's someone that, in my opinion, someone that he doesn't really like not having his own way, So I don't know whether he'd say, "Oh, okay, that's fine," and move on, or whether he'd argue with the parent or something like that.
Yeah, and we know he wouldn't film that part, or he would, but he would delete it.
Yeah.
Delete that part. I really hope he really doesn't like harass people too much. I mean, I know he harasses people, but I hope he doesn't I hope it's not like a constant thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, I don't know with Nathan.
Yeah. I think the problem is with Nathan is that he is convinced that he is doing good by spreading this. His brain is that warped that
he's religious with it. Obviously, he claims to be Christian, doesn't he, as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, what do you say with a guy like Nathan Thompson? I mean, it's the fact that Reckless Ben. I mean, we all joke about it, but seriously, that the prank that he was a part of, that kind of just illustrates how suggestible flat earthers can sometimes be. It's to the point where even people in the flat earth community were saying this isn't real. You need to you need to stop.
When the flat earthers are saying that,
yeah, but it was like, no,
you messed up.
guys, and it's because Reckless Ben and Blake, very, very good at what they do, had done their research, and they knew the buttons to press, they knew what to say, they knew what would win him over, they knew they knew what they were doing, and it worked so well. I mean, it worked better than I thought it could do. It was absolutely insane. He was completely smitten.
They actually nearly had Mark Sargent booked instead, didn't they? So
yeah, that's
I think he forgot to book him a plane ticket or something, but
yeah, he said it was too early or something like that. But
I think Mark Sargent cottoned onto it. Like, he's very, in my opinion, he's definitely one of the people that is insincere about his beliefs.
Yeah, he either did or he would have, in my opinion. And maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but my gut instinct says, the thing is with Mark Sargent, I mean, I think of all flat earthers, I think Mark Sargent is actually relatively agreeable. He's the one, he doesn't come across as quite like aggressive and confrontational.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he's
remind myself who he is.
Yeah, he's kind of like, he was a bit more popular in the old days of Flat Earth, but
that one? Yeah, okay. Now I'm on the same page. That one.
Yeah. Do you remember? Do you remember? Because if you all remember when Team Skeptic went to the Flat Earth conference because it was near him, and there were some flat earthers that didn't really like him being there, and I can understand why. But at the same time, he said this himself, and it was true. He was not there to start a fight and to be like, look at all these idiots. He genuinely wasn't. He was being polite. He was not. He just wanted to kind of talk. and like Nathan
Yeah.
Thompson like didn't want to deal with them. D Marble just like ignored him, wasn't interested. But Mark Sargent, to his credit, is like, oh, can I do an interview? Yeah. And sat down and they did an interview. It's like, even though you've got Team Skeptic, which is like one of the mortal enemies of Flat Earth, and Mark Sargent is like, yeah, you can interview me. Just go ahead. And then they did, and it was very cordial. And I think even though they didn't agree still, it's nice to see at least that, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but Mark Sargent seems...
No, yeah.
The Snark, hello,
like,
buddy.
If you're polite,
Good
then...
to see you, mate. Sorry, Juju Bear, mate. I'll just address the Snark for a second. He's got a song on his channel, my favourite ex-Flat Earther, and that does happen to be me.
Oh?
Yeah, so Snark, buddy, please drop a link in the chat if you could. That'd be amazing. Yeah, it's such a funny song, and it's put a lot of effort into that. So
I don't
thanks
have a
so
song
much
about
for that, Snark.
That's good. I love that. But yeah, as I was saying, being polite, I think, like...
1 minute, guys. I'll be back.
What? Yeah, but being polite, I think that's something that a lot of flat earthers can, like, should, like, get around to doing, and, like, hearing out the other side and, just being polite about their beliefs, Like, yes. I think they should just do that. I mean...
It's difficult. Because you gotta let your guard down. And, you've got to try and be a bit open-minded, which flat earthers are convinced that they are being open-minded, but they actually aren't. So
yeah, that's the problem.
Because like you've got Rayleigh, for example, who says all the right things, and does appear to be open-minded and willing to discuss things, which is great. Whether she actually is or not, I don't know. But as I mentioned before, hopefully she is. But yeah, Rachel is another one though that you can at least talk to, and you've got to be polite, haven't you?
Yeah,
doesn't matter what you.
Yeah,
so that's sorry.
Yeah,
part of the polite flat Earth, discussion. I remember seeing this one flat earther. Was it on a show or something? I think it was called something like "Agree to Disagree" or something. And it was this guy, and like, I mean, sure he was, probably, sure he's ignorant and sure he's a flat earther, but like he was like so nice about everything, and like it made me kind of happy, and it, and I feel like more like people in general need to do that.
I need to do that. I could be rude as hell.
Fair enough.
It's fun though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is fun.
It's fun,
I can
but
sit there and I notice it, like, and that's obviously why a lot of channels, they love doing the triggering videos, or calling someone out. And I notice it myself when I was going through that stage of calling Ranty out. You're getting 5,000-6,000 views a video, but I couldn't keep that up. I was like, this isn't me. I don't want a constant WWE fight, between me and Dell, and then me and Ranty,
Yeah.
and it started to feel like a pantomime, if you know what I mean. So like, I want to get more in depth and more talk about the reasons behind it, and and
well, that was
it's
I mean,
not
we had
as much
Jose
as
on.
Yeah,
which I'm really glad actually, because because
kind of made up with him,
Yeah, because we had a fallout, and you did as well, and it's just nice to just put that behind us for a bit, which is really, really good.
That's good.
Yeah, it's stupid to be having arguments, and like I used to say to Jose, was especially me and you, dude. We're the two most vocal ex-flat earthers on YouTube. Like, we need to be working together, man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we can't be against each other. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, leave that stuff to the conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all you've got to do. But you know, I think you're right. Really, you know, you just got to treat people with respect, have decent
Yes.
conversations. But I almost feel now really is like the channel, because I'm now going live a lot more. It's, you know, starting again in a way. You know, so I'm still going to do my edited videos, but probably go to maybe one a week, and then go live a couple of times a week. And so it's different content that's coming out, if you know what I mean. But I felt like I'd more or less said everything I needed to say. You know, I spent a year making videos just on myself, and now I need to step out and talk to other people, learn from them, and give other people platforms. Do you know what I mean?
Evolving, and it's a good thing.
Yeah,
I suppose
that's it.
I suppose probably one of the most challenging thing about being a content creator, it doesn't matter what type of content that is you know, you've got to have a constant supply of this content that you're making without it becoming repetitive, but still about the same thing. It's very, very hard to do. So
I know all about that.
So you got to think So you got to think creatively, you know. So for example, some other debunkers channels has been, you know, they'll talk about flat Earth. They'll talk about different aspects of the flat Earth each time. Maybe they'll do debates, but they'll do debates on different things. Or maybe they'll sort of do little science lessons or things like that. Or maybe they will. And there's lots of things.
I think a great channel for that actually is Planner Walk. He's really great, I think, at, you know, doing lots of different little topics, and he'll go into the banter for a little while, do a more informative video, and if you know what I mean. But once you do split a channel up like that, rather than just doing like, you know, you've got that formula, you know, yes, it works, but I always think like it can't go on forever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's not like in math where the formula will work every time. It's more like a, you know, eventually it'll just wear out, and gotta adapt. Yeah,
that's the challenge though. There is a lot that you can do though. There's you will see this in the best creators. You know, there's all sorts of things you can do, and some things you might try might turn out to be an amazing idea. You know, and everyone's commenting, "Oh, I'll do that again. That was amazing."
Yeah.
You know, or some of the things might be complete crap, and you know, you don't get any views. Then you don't do it again.
Saying that though, like two of my favorite videos are the two like history ones I did, and you know, they actually only got 700 or 800 views, but the filming and the editing, I got way much more pleasure out of that than most of my other videos. If you know what I mean?
It's so because you're doing that. Because you got to remember when you're doing things like that, and I'm sure you did, but it's the fact that, you know, your whole presence on YouTube and your whole subscriber base is because of flat Earth and conspiracy and debunking and things like that, of that world. So the fact that you did that you went into history and things like that, you're always going to get less views, and that's no indication. That does not mean at all that what you did was not very good, because it was very good. It was very, very well made. But it's just the fact that, you know, it's you're playing a different song to a you know, to an audience that used to. So it's one of those. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on. You know.
No, I know what you mean though. Say like if you go to a concert or something, and you know you want to hear all their greatest hits, and if you sort of hear an album song,
and if you had a classical pianist come up and perform this amazing concerto or whatever, he might be the best piano player in the world, but people are going to be like, didn't really come for this. So.
That's a good way to think about that. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. Yeah.
That's why I kind of like the name Seek Truth, Speak Truth, though, because I think it does lend itself a little bit to history as well, because there's a lot of, you know, things to find out
Misconceptions
there,
of
a lot
history.
of things to speak about.
I'm
So
still in two minds about seek truth. I suppose I've gotten used to it, but it's such a
it's such a
it's
mouthful, isn't it?
you
Even
get
when
it-
I go to say it, I'm going, seek truth, speak truth. Like, can't even get out of
and
my
also like,
mouth
oh my god,
sometimes.
this is the most conspiracy like name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Maybe I should change it to like sought truth. Now I'm
found
speaking
truth, yeah.
truth.
Sought truth, sought truth,
Yeah.
found truth. Yeah.
Could work, yeah.
I mean, I even thought like, I don't know. I am still considering changing it, but I don't know because it is a bit woo-woo, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
It probably doesn't matter that much. I mean, I'll make your own mind up. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. Like it happens. I mean, you know, like how fight the flat Earth is now FTFE. So he decided to do that, so it didn't have flat Earth in it. But
well, hence why
you know,
there I've got like STST.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so much better to just abbreviate it. You know what I mean?
It's just one of those things. But
Yes.
Oh, we've got Rayleigh playing the
things-
chat. Hello, mate. It was a good laugh the other night, saying just swinging by on my bed, have a good stream. Yeah, it was a good laugh. That was when Simon Dan jumped in the chat, weren't he? So
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
that. That was nice.
Will
That was
you
fun.
stop
oh
name
yeah, I
dropping?
think you were there as well.
Yeah.
Will you stop
Yeah.
name dropping your best buddy Simon Dan? I get it. You're on the
Oh,
first
I
name
thought you meant
basis, buddy.
I thought you meant stop name dropping Limey play.
I swear
I even
that's,
had
that's,
that
all,
off my
that's
ex.
all I get with you. It's like, oh, I was just messaging Simon Dan the other day. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah. My ex even said that. She used to go, she'd literally pronounce it as Simon Dan, like that, because she was like, oh, for God's sake, like, you know, but no. Did anyone know
there
that
was a
Simon
podcast,
Dan was in my
wasn't
chat last night? Or
I'm sure there's a podcast. I'm surprised you haven't told
Yeah.
anyone.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's number
Well, now that you
21
mention
in the
it.
charts. Yeah, that's number 21
hell.
in the Apple podcast charts for science.
That's really good. Holy hell.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Sandwich
expected
between
that.
two Brian Cox podcasts. So I'm quite happy with that. Another little name drop.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Your old mate, Brian Cox.
Yeah. Maybe one day, you know. I'll have to ask Neil deGrasse Tyson if he's got his email or something, see if he'll throw it over to me.
Well, crazy, we got him over here.
They're obsessed with Neil. Flat Earthers hate Neil deGrasse Tyson, don't they?
Oh, no, sorry. I said 21. 121.
Oh.
Yeah, I need to clarify. It wasn't number 21. It's 121.
120.
But it was only released on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the ones that are sandwiched between were released in like 2018 and stuff like that. So it's doing pretty well. So I didn't know if anyone knew I was on. I'm gonna have to see if I can go a whole stream without saying Simon Dan.
That's going to be a challenge. It might take you a few times.
Then he'll be in the chat and you'll ignore him. That'd be
Yeah.
hilarious.
That would be so awkward.
Like, hello, all newcomers in chat. Hope you're all doing well.
Hello,
Yeah.
Mandan Sai.
Sigh. Love that.
Oh,
To be fair, he's a nice guy though, isn't he, Simon Dan? He's just
he is a good guy. I was actually quite shocked.
I get the impression that he wouldn't hurt a fly. You know, it's just very relaxed, very softly spoken.
No, I mean the funny thing is though, even Dell, he's said before like, can anyone get me Seek Truth, Speak Truth's address? And I'm gonna have to say it again, Simon Dan's address, and he actually got hold of Simon Dan's address apparently about 2 years ago, and there's never been a knock at the door. Do you know what I mean? So it just shows you that it's all bravado. I've even heard that Dell in his own local shop is going in wearing a mask, even though online he's saying he's an anti-masker. You know, I've literally had people message me saying I live in the same village as him, and he goes in the shop wearing a mask. Do you know what I mean? So it just shows you
chihuahuas. Like they'll stand at the fence and bark and bark and bark where you can see them, but like when you actually jump over the fence to confront them to actually see them in where they're actually at, they're like they just stand there and pee.
Yeah,
I've actually had that experience where some guy he invited me, to hang out and mess with his dogs and stuff, and like these dogs would always bark at me and stuff, and I went over and these dogs kind of they're like, now I was barking at you, but now what do I do?
He's a weird one.
Dave Mack, sorry, has thrown in €2 there. Thank you very much, mate. Dave, actually, I haven't really mentioned the debate channel. If you would not mind dropping a link to that, I think we're about 16 subscribers away from 100. So if anyone has not subscribed, please do.
Shut up, Dave.
16.
What's
I
he
thought it
saying?
was. Hold on.
Simon Dan.
It all helps the algorithm. I think the more we keep saying it, the more views we'll get, so that's fine. I'm doing a creaky at the minute. I need to have that like money. Yeah, I need to get some.
He's kind of like the first to every joke, isn't he, Creaky? He just
Yeah. He's a creator of a lot of laughs.
Oh, Snark, that is brilliant. Let me see.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh no, let's play the Snarks.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Can I screen share? Do you want to screen share?
Yeah. Okay. Let me just. I don't know. If it will play my audio.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll give it a go.
I think there's an option where you have to.
All right. Can you see?
Can
you hear it? Can you hear it?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, it's there.
Love that.
I'll have to work out a way of actually being able to play it. I'm sure there is, but there's like a.
Yeah, hold on. Let me try it one more time. I think because it said share.
I saw 1 second of it.
No, that's not it.
Everyone in the chat as well, if you haven't, go and check out B-Ball for Life.
Oh, share audio. Here we go. Let me try one more time. I haven't got it. Let me see if I could just.
No.
Here we go. All right, you should be able to hear this now. The harmonies.
We could remix that into a song.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, actually, should we play the Snark, mate? Or it should be a little bit further up, actually. Sorry, Bullet Bill. Would you be able to play the link the Snark played earlier of the Seek Truth, Speak Truth song? And we'll play that and then maybe
share your screen, dudes? I'm sure you could do it as
I can't.
well.
I'm on my lap. I'm literally on my phone.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
And then we'll call it a night after that. We'll sort of say our goodbyes and round it off on a crescendo from the Snark.
Oh, which one am I playing here? Beebles.
No, the Snark. Sorry.
The one about you.
It's the STST song. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel really bad because I missed his premiere last night. So I feel like if I re-premiere it on here, I had some personal issues going on. I actually missed the actual premiere.
You can still see his old videos. That's love, and that is fine, and that is fine. But the titles have now changed a bit, and they have a warning sign, warning sign. They have a warning sign, a warning sign.
It sounds like a national anthem, this.
It does.
This sounds like something you would be performed in like a really early elementary music class. That's what I was getting. I love that. This is a beautiful work of art.
It is.
God, this is long, Zeke.
Yeah, maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I might have this as my funeral song, guys.
Your funeral song.
Brilliant.
When I think of using a song in the future, I more quickly jump to at my wedding rather than my funeral.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I did jump a bit far ahead there. I try and plan ahead.
I mean, it's good to be prepared, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to wrap it up though, guys. Thank you so much for coming along. So, Juju Bear, mate, that was obviously a bit sort of shady internet at first, but you got there. And you seem very capable.
And I'm really glad that it didn't, cut out anymore. Like it almost did earlier, but I don't think anybody noticed. So, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed being here. I love you guys.
You too, buddy. You too, mate. Bullet Bill, good to see you, mate. Thanks for coming along.
Of course.
Peace. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you, everyone in the chat. The Dart, The Snark, Nail077, John Eagle, B-Ball for Life, Slave1, Ricky Bell, Martin H, Dave Mack, what a legend. Pixel Domination as well, the mighty one. Thank you ever so much, everybody. Stay safe and keep it global.
Later, everyone.